Hi, so I am Ariana Contreras. I'm a speech language pathology assistant and graduate clinician at Texas Women's University. I am currently completing my practicum at an elementary school here in Central Texas and am completing this assignment for aural habilitation at Texas Women's. So today I'm going to be teaching you about some strategies to use with your student or your child if they are deaf or hard of hearing and need to work on listening skills. So the first thing is I'm going to be doing an activity where we are going to be doing food and cooking items, maybe some things that you would see at mealtime with your child. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is some vocabulary. So some common vocabulary that my student would use would be things like apple, banana, bread, cupcake, tomato, orange. Those are some preferred foods. Additionally, I would use some vocabulary such as cups, fork, spoon, knife, plate, bowl, etc. Additionally, I would want to target some verbs, definitely modeling some verbs for them as we are playing together. And so that might look like cut, pick up, look, help. And then finally, I would encourage core words. So core words are words that we can use across a variety of settings and don't just tie you to one specific noun. And so tomato only tells us tomato. It doesn't tell us anything else. It only stands for that one thing. But something like my or yours or help, different, more, well done, things like that. Those kind of have more of a variety of context and are able to be used across multiple different domains. And so I would definitely want to model and ensure that I'm using core words to help increase generalization of skills being targeted throughout sessions. And so I'm going to show you a little bit about what I would be doing, as well as describing 2 specific strategies that I would want to use with the student. So first, I'm going to start with the strategies that I'll be showing you. And so the first one will be listen first. And so this strategy is where I'm using only the acoustic message. And so I really want that child to rely on their auditory information rather than having that visual cue with it. I want them to really have to listen instead of listening and looking. And so I'm going to name the item in a bag before I present it. And so that might look like I have my bag here. I might say apple as I have my hand inside of the bag. And so in their brain, they're having to picture, what does an apple look like? What does it feel like? What does it taste like? And really start connecting all of those thoughts. And so I might also describe it. I might say it's red or green. It's shaped like a circle. It's round. It's crunchy and juicy. It's a fruit. So I might give them some clues about the things that we're talking about in order to kind of help them get that picture in their brain of what that item is. They're really having to listen and think and use their skills. The next thing that I might use is what's called acoustic highlighting. And so acoustic highlighting is where we emphasize the specific word. So I might increase my volume. I might slow my rate. I might even provide emphasis when I'm talking in specific words and sentences. I might say, pick up the apple. And that tells them that I'm really wanting them to focus on the word apple in that sentence or phrase that I'm providing them with. I might say, get the spoon. So that just kind of like provides that emphasis on the key word I want them to really listen to. So this might look like, I'm going to show you here. I have my bag. It's not, I ripped it. It's not overly stimulating. It's very plain and basic. I might even want to do like just a plain brown paper bag, but I didn't have one of those available to me today. So I'm going to show you what that might look like with your child or student. So I'm going to say bowl. Bowl. I eat cereal in it. It's shaped like a circle. My bowl is blue. I eat out of my bowl. I eat my cereal. I eat my ice cream. The bowl is round. Bowl. I might even use expansion. Expansion is where if they end up repeating bowl, I might say blue bowl. The bowl is blue. Circle bowl. And so just kind of expanding what they say by adding another word. So if they're kind of using one-word utterances, I'd want to ensure that I'm using 2 to 3-word utterances just to continue modeling. Okay, apple. Apple. It's round. It's red. It's juicy. I take a big bite. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Apple. I might even provide them with a sign. Apple. Look, apple. So I would show them the apple. We might talk about, oh, we eat it. Cut the apple. We need a knife. We need a knife to cut. Knife. It's sharp. Knife. It's really long. It cuts food. Knife. Look, knife. Let's cut. I might also kind of bring in some strategies or basic concepts, I should say, to teach the child, maybe like big and little. So I might do exactly what I showed you earlier with an orange. So in my bag, I have 2 oranges. I would prefer to use real objects, but sometimes that's not what we have available, and so we need to pivot. And so I have a little pretend apple, but I also have a real orange. I'm so sorry, but I also have a real orange. And so I might talk about like, ooh, this one's big, this one's little, big and little. Look, little orange. I'm clearly tired. And so those are just simple ways that we can kind of continue to increase their vocabulary and concepts within these sessions. So why do we use these strategies? First of all, acoustic highlighting, it helps maintain the syntax or grammar of their language, and it makes those keywords accessible. We're providing the emphasis on the words that we want them to hear clearly. Additionally, listen first. It really makes them rely on listening and has them use their listening skills and those auditory skills rather than their visual and auditory skills. So if your child is having some difficulties or isn't picking this up quite as quickly as you feel like they should, something that I would recommend or some modifications that you could use would be to give them some wait time. Oftentimes these kids need time to process what you're saying, and so allowing them time to process everything you're saying and think and listen. So giving them appropriate wait time. Additionally, if you're asking them a question or want them to respond in any way, you can provide them choices. And so this might look like, do you want to do the orange or the apple? Orange, apple. And then you can allow them to point. They can use a sign. They can use a word, however they want to let you know which choice they're choosing. Additionally, I might describe and give clues like I did earlier when I was describing the things in my bag. I might also want to kind of provide some more visual supports that might look like a picture symbol. It might look like a gesture when I'm, look, or it might look like a sign, apple, orange. So things like that kind of provide some additional support for your child. Finally, some ways that you could follow up and use this to generalize into other settings would be for you to use this in your everyday routines. This doesn't have to be something that is additional and this extra work that you have to do. We can incorporate it into the things that we're already doing. So including this at meal time or at bath time or in the car when you're driving, these places that you already talk to your child at and are engaging with them, we can just include our strategies in those everyday activities. It doesn't have to be this sit down activity at the table where we're drilling them and doing a more like specific drill type therapy session that you might think of when you think of therapy. It can really be these just very naturalistic environments where we are using what they have in their environment and we're using and doing the things that they're already doing in their everyday life. This doesn't have to be challenging. It's not meant to be stressful. It's just a way to engage your child in a new and different way than you may have done originally. So overall, I think that these are really great skills and strategies to use with this population as well as just other delayed and disordered young children. And that's all I have today.